Before Star Wars and Marvel, before lightsabers and superheroes in spandex, there was the golden age of pulp and sci-fi. This was a time when imagination ran wild, fueled by the rapid advancements of the early 20th century and the anxieties of a world on the brink. We're talking space heroes battling alien emperors, cosmic horrors lurking in the shadows, and the dawn of atomic age paranoia. From the pulpy pages of magazines to the silver screen, this era gave birth to some of the most enduring icons and stories in pop culture. Flash Gordon, Superman, Godzilla, these weren't just characters, they were reflections of our hopes and fears, our dreams of adventure and our nightmares of the unknown. So buckle up, because we're about to take a warp-speed journey through the golden age of pulp and sci-fi, exploring its impact on the pop culture universe we know and love today. Now, any self-respecting space explorer knows that before we boldly went with Kirk and Spock, there was Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers battling it out for supremacy in the vast cosmic arena of the pulps. Picture this. It's the 1930s, the world's on edge, but in the pages of these magazines, anything was possible. Flash Gordon, the all-American athlete turned interstellar adventurer, captured the imagination with his daring escapes from Ming the Merciless, the tyrannical ruler of the planet Mongo. Talk about a hostile takeover. His adventures were pure escapism, full of ray guns, rocket ships, and alien landscapes that sparked the imagination. Meanwhile, Buck Rogers, a man out of time, catapulted from the 1920s into the 25th century, offered a glimpse into a future filled with technological marvels. These weren't just stories, they were blueprints for the future of science fiction. Flash Gordon's influence, with its sense of swashbuckling adventure and epic scope, is felt most strongly in a little film franchise you might have heard of, Star Wars. Now let's shift gears from the brightly colored adventures of space opera to the shadowy depths of cosmic horror, where one name reigns supreme: H.P. Lovecraft. Lovecraft, a recluse haunted by nightmares, didn't just write horror stories. He crafted an entire mythology of cosmic dread that continues to send shivers down our spines. He tapped into our deepest fears of the unknown, of ancient unknowable beings lurking just beyond our comprehension. His stories were filled with tentacles, non-Euclidean geometry, and creatures with names that could make a dictionary spontaneously combust. Cthulhu, Dagon, Yog-Saron. These weren't your average monsters, they were harbingers of cosmic indifference, proof that humanity was just a blip on the radar of a vast and uncaring universe. His influence on horror, both in literature and film, is immeasurable. From the creature designs of Alien to the unsettling atmosphere of Stranger Things, Lovecraft's influence is undeniable. He showed us that the universe can be a beautiful and terrifying place, full of wonders that can both inspire and terrify us. He made us confront the vastness of existence and our own insignificance in the face of it. Before there was Batman prowling the rooftops of Gotham, before Indiana Jones cracked his whip, there was Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze. This pulp hero was cut from a different cloth, a forerunner to the superheroes who would soon dominate the comic book pages. Doc Savage was the ultimate polymath, a scientist, surgeon, adventurer, inventor, and martial artist. He was like if you took Batman, gave him Indiana Jones' sense of adventure, and then threw in a dash of Sherlock Holmes for good measure. His adventures were pure pulp excitement, battling pirates, uncovering lost civilizations, and thwarting mad scientists with plans for world domination. But Doc Savage was more than just brute strength and a square jawline. He was a symbol of human potential, a testament to the power of science and reason. He showed us that we didn't need superpowers to be heroes, that with enough dedication and ingenuity, we could overcome any obstacle. Gap 3S Superman launching the superhero age. Now hold on to your hats, folks, because in 1938, a true game changer arrived on the scene, exploding onto the pages of Action Comics #1 Superman. This wasn't just another pulp hero, this was the archetype, the granddaddy of them all, the superhero who would change everything. Superman, an alien refugee with powers far beyond those of mortal men, became a symbol of hope in a world teetering on the brink of war. Here was a being who could bend steel with his bare hands, outrun a speeding bullet, and fight for truth, justice, and the American way. Superman's arrival launched the golden age of comics, a period of unprecedented creativity and imagination. Without Superman, there'd be no Batman, no Spider-Man, no Marvel Cinematic Universe as we know it. From World War to sci-fi, the atomic age arrives. Now, as the world plunged into the darkness of World War II, science fiction took on a new urgency, reflecting the anxieties of a world grappling with the very real possibility of annihilation. The pulps, once filled with swashbuckling space adventures, began to explore darker themes: war, nuclear fear, and the potential for technology to both save and destroy us. Stories like those found in Astounding Science Fiction magazine, a true titan of the genre, grappled with the ethical dilemmas of advanced technology, the horrors of war, and the potential for humanity to destroy itself. This was science fiction with a conscience, a mirror reflecting the fears and anxieties of a generation. The atomic bomb, a terrifying new reality, cast a long shadow over the genre. It wasn't just about aliens and spaceships anymore, it was about the very real threats facing humanity. They came from outer space, 1950s sci-fi cinema. Now, as the world emerged from the shadow of World War II, a new threat emerged in the public consciousness: the Cold War. And with it, a wave of science fiction films that reflected the anxieties of a world on the brink of nuclear annihilation. The 1950s saw an explosion of alien invasion films, from the classic The Day the Earth Stood Still to the terrifying War of the Worlds, to the campy delights of Plan 9 from outer space. These films, with their flying saucers, ray guns, and menacing aliens, tapped into a very real fear of the unknown. The Cold War, with its constant threat of nuclear war, fueled a paranoia that permeated popular culture. These films weren't just about entertainment, they were a reflection of our deepest fears and anxieties. Now let's talk about a writer who took those Cold War anxieties and turned them inward, exploring the potential for humanity to destroy itself not through nuclear war, but through censorship and conformity. Ray Bradbury. His seminal work, Fahrenheit 451, published in 1953, painted a chilling picture of a future where books are outlawed and firemen start fires instead of putting them out. It was a dystopian masterpiece that warned against the dangers of censorship, the suppression of ideas, and the numbing effects of mass media. Bradbury's work wasn't just about science fiction, it was about the human condition. He explored themes of social alienation, the importance of knowledge, and the dangers of conformity. Now imagine this: a swirling galaxy, a haunting theme song, and the voice of Rod Serling welcoming you to the Twilight Zone. This wasn't just a television show, it was a cultural phenomenon that took the anxieties of the Cold War, the societal upheavals of the 1960s, and spun them into chilling morality tales. Each episode was a self-contained journey into the unknown, exploring themes of prejudice, conformity, and the very nature of humanity. From the terrifying talking Tina to the thought-provoking Eye of the Beholder, the Twilight Zone used science fiction as a lens to examine the human condition. Rod Serling, the show's creator and narrator, was a master storyteller, using his platform to comment on social issues and challenge viewers to confront their own biases. The Twilight Zone didn't just influence television, it became a genre unto itself. Now, in 1954, from the depths of the Pacific, a monster emerged, a towering behemoth born from the ashes of nuclear war, Godzilla. This wasn't just a giant monster movie, it was a powerful allegory for the atomic age, a symbol of the destructive power we had unleashed upon the world. Godzilla, with his radioactive breath and city-leveling stomps, became a pop culture icon, a walking embodiment of our nuclear anxieties. He was a force of nature, both terrifying and awe-inspiring, a reminder of the fragility of human civilization in the face of unimaginable power. The original Gojira film, released in Japan just 9 years after the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, was a somber and powerful meditation on the horrors of war. Godzilla's influence on monster movies is undeniable. Now let's talk about a phenomenon that gripped the public imagination in the 1950s, a phenomenon that fueled countless science fiction stories and continues to inspire conspiracy theories to this day: UFOs. The Roswell incident of 1947, whether you believe it was a weather balloon or a crashed alien spacecraft, ignited a firestorm of interest in extraterrestrial life. Suddenly, the skies were filled with strange lights, and everyone from housewives to government officials claimed to have seen something unexplainable. This newfound paranoia seeped into popular culture, influencing everything from comic books to movies. Aliens were everywhere, lurking in the shadows, plotting to take over the world, or maybe just stopping by for a quick visit and a cup of sugar. This era gave birth to the trope of the government cover-up, the shadowy agents in black suits silencing anyone who dared to speak the truth about what they had seen. From the pulpy pages of magazines to the silver screen, the golden age of sci-fi wasn't just about escapism. It was about grappling with the big questions, the unknowns of the universe, and the very nature of humanity. From superheroes to kaiju, the golden age of sci-fi reshaped pop culture forever. These stories, born out of a time of great change and uncertainty, continue to resonate with us today because they tap into something primal, something universal. They reflect our hopes and fears, our dreams and nightmares, and remind us that even in the face of the unknown, the human spirit endures. Which of these stories do you think had the biggest impact? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe for more deep dives into pop culture history, only on emgotv1.